Hey everyone, welcome to the happiest hour on earth. It's the moment you've been waiting for all week. Oh my gosh, to finally listen to our podcast. So exciting. But we are finally at the weekend, and so we're ready to just hang out with you guys, eat some Disney snacks, have some Disney drinks, and talk about some Disney. So today we decided, you know what, we've been talking a lot about the parks, which are the best thing ever, but we decided we had so much fun doing the Disney movie, just best of. And so today we decided we're going to be talking about Pixar, which is so amazing.
Gotta give Pixar some love.
Yeah, and such a part of our childhood. So we're going to be talking about Pixar movies today, and we are so excited that you're here with us. So let's get the show rolling.
All right, so with the discussion revolving around Pixar movies, we decided to make some Pixar-related snacks.
Oh, yeah.
And drinks. There's no particularly notable drinks or snacks in Pixar movies.
Snacks, I feel like Ratatouille always stands out, but there's
I guess Ratatouille, yeah.
there's so many components to that dish. So
yeah.
I don't know. We
Ratatouille
didn't
dish,
feel prepared.
Can't go there yet.
We'll make it one day.
We're not at that
we'll make
level.
it one day.
But with that being said, we decided to make a classic from Cars Land in Disney California Adventure. So we made the mac and cheese cone from the Cozy Cone Motel. Yes.
It's amazing.
These actually turned out much better than anticipated.
It was a little scary. We found this recipe on how to make the cone itself, and it was like, put it in tin foil or else it'll catch on fire. And we're like, oh my gosh, that'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah. So there's a process to making these cones, and we again are gonna have a reel on that on our Instagram, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty good. So
do you want to try them right now before the drink?
Sure.
I'm super excited to try this. We haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah. And it's later than we expected to get started on this, so we're pretty hungry.
Oh yeah.
So cheers to our mac and cheese cones. Carbolicious right here.
Oh yeah. That is so good.
That I could
eat this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. One thing to note, we forgot to buy bacon because there's supposed to be a bacon crumble on top. Big mistake on our part. The bacon is the pixie dust of this snack here.
The pixie dust, I like that.
But we had to enjoy it without. It's still really good.
So what you just experienced there was a little jump cut because we were incredibly hungry, and you just missed us just ravenously eating these mac cones. So as you can see, there's been a little bit of a battle.
Got a little messy. We had to partake in a little bit more of these than we could show on camera.
Yeah, that was incredible. Or what was shown on camera and what could be heard audibly, because that was just a mess. Yeah.
So those were really good.
The drinks as well.
The drinks are from Lamplight Lounge, also in California Adventure on Pixar Pier. So this is called the Open Ocean.
With a splash or something like that?
Oh, Open Ocean with a splash. That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've actually not been to Lamplight Lounge yet, which is really embarrassing to say.
We've been to Cove Bar, but not Lamplight. Yeah, we went to Cove Bar,
but ever since Lamplight opened, we've not made our way there.
So sad.
Very sad, but we've never tried this drink before. It looks really good, very blue.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, we just decided to give it a shot.
Let's do this thing.
Try it.
Okay, the raspberries have fallen in. Let's try.
Ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh my word.
Oh, that is good.
That is so good.
Mm.
Oh my god.
So this is a slush drink. So as you can see in our reel, we did raspberry rum. What else? Raspberry rum. We got some
amaretto.
Curacao amaretto. A little agave nectar. And then you just crush it up with ice. And so this is super slushy, super refreshing.
Really refreshing. Oh, that's tasty.
That is really tasty. I'm
glad we made this.
This is, we're going between a couple of drinks from the Lamplight Lounge. And we haven't done really a slush type drink. We did the frozen margarita.
Yeah.
Which was really good, but we haven't done a slushy type one. So this is
I
incredible.
actually think this is better than the Marg. I love that Marg, but this is like super refreshing.
It is. Yeah.
This is a good like summer drink.
Oh yeah, totally.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan. So
yeah.
So we decided it is way too hard to just pick your favorite Pixar movies.
Way too many good
out of 95 to 2020. It was pretty much impossible. So what we wanted to do, there's not really like Disney or Pixar eras like there is Disney. Nothing really like defining each era. So we decided we want to split them up a little bit. And how we decided to do that was just, the first movie came out in 95, and then the latest movie we got, Soul, came out in 2020. So we decided 5-year increments would be a good way. Yeah. So we're going to do 5 years and pick our favorite from that half decade. But then at the end,
got to narrow it down even more.
Yeah. So once we pick our favorites from each half decade, we are going to try to rank them. That's pretty impossible.
It's going to be tough. There's a lot of favorites in this list.
There is. Almost every...
Like all of them.
All Pixar movies are great. Some are good. And I think that's the hard thing about Pixar is that some of the movies are absolutely incredible. So even the good movies just kind of fall by the wayside because the other ones are so incredible. But needless to say, Pixar is absolutely amazing. Some of our favorite movies to watch. And we're ready to dive in.
Yeah, we're ready.
Are you ready? Okay, so we have from 1995 to 2000s, technically 95 to 99, that the movies came out. But we have Toy Story coming out in 95, Bug's Life coming out in 98, and then Toy Story 2 in 99. What would you say about these?
Okay. So I think I need to preface my answer by saying that the Toy Story saga, all 4 of them, are ultimately my favorite thing that Pixar has done. Like, Toy Story movies are just the best, in my opinion. Like, nothing can top them. So all 4 of those equal out to my favorite Pixar movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick one of the Toy Story movies as my favorite from that list.
Okay.
But for this grouping of them, since there is another Pixar movie in there that I also love, I'm gonna have to say Bug's Life.
All right. Okay.
I love Bug's Life as well. I think it is highly underrated because that movie is like so much of my childhood.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was right. Yeah, I mean, it was 98, so you were about 5 years old. Yeah. So, like, perfect timing.
Yeah.
For, starting to watch that.
I loved that movie, and Hopper always scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
But the story was just so fun. I loved Flick. I loved Ada. I loved Little Dot. Like,
yeah. I think
such a fun storyline.
Yeah, one thing I love about that is, like, how they weren't equipped for the job. And then yet they love the people in that town so much that they're like, you know what? I don't care if we're not equipped. We're going to help you defeat this stupid grasshopper.
We're just going to rise up and do what we got to do.
Yeah. Oh, I love that about that movie.
I love
for
that
sure.
Movie.
Okay, so Bug's Life. All right. So I'm going to have to say, even though Toy Story, the first one, was absolutely revolutionary. I mean, I always think of Toy Story and Snow White in a similar way because Snow White was the first animated full-length film in 39, I believe, right? Or 37, 39. Then you have Toy Story, 95, the first computer animated full-length film. And so for Pixar to just say, we're going to just go for it and do something that hasn't been done before, I mean, absolutely amazing. So I love it for that point, but that came out in 95, so I was, 2 years old. So I didn't necessarily grow. I mean, I kind of grew up with it, but I didn't watch it in theaters or anything like that. But when Toy Story 2 came out, I was a little bit older and I think appreciated it a little bit more at that time. So I grew up with Toy Story 2 a little bit more. Absolutely loved Bullseye. I mean, he was like the cutest horse in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Loved the Zurg element in it, the Buzz Lightyear action in it. And then obviously one of the saddest parts in all of any Pixar movies.
Song will get me every time.
Sarah McLachlan. Ooh, you get me.
it.
I know. Oh man, that is the saddest thing in the world. And that was like when I was like, oh my gosh, I will never do this to my toys. It was so sad. But Toy Story 2, even though, yes, Toy Story 1 is a little more revolutionary in the first one, I grew up with Toy Story 2 a little bit more. So I'm going to have to pick Toy Story 2, actually, out of this list.
Yep. It's a great one. It's a great one. I would have picked that as well, but since I'm, I've got my...
You're taught Toy Story. I feel you.
Exactly.
I think I know what that one is. So, do you want to do the next one?
Yeah. So from the year 2001 to 2005, we have Monsters, Inc. in 2001, Finding Nemo in 2003, and The Incredibles in 2004.
Okay.
All great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your choice?
Oh, man. They're all so different.
Yeah.
Monsters, Inc. is that like, it's funny. There's some like big adventure in there. Finding Nemo is straight up adventure. Mm-hmm. Incredibles action. All of them I love for different reasons, but I think I'm going to have to go with Open Ocean. Finding Nemo. I mean that is one of the best Pixar movies from start to finish.
I totally agree.
I realize that beginning is so Pixar too. Like Up.
Mm-hmm.
Then the first 5 minutes you're having a fun time,
bawling.
and then something terrible happens, and just like Finding Nemo is just like, oh, we're gonna name our kids.
Sets the stage for the rest of the movie, just being so emotional with like the relationship between Nemo and his dad.
I know.
And, yeah.
Oh, and Marlin. Is
the emotions,
father.
the feelings.
Marlin is the father I aspire to be. At the end of the movie, at the beginning, he's a little.
The reins are a little tight.
Reins are a little tight, yeah, but he becomes a great father, and so I'm gonna be like Marlin when I'm older. I'm excited. But what would you say out of this list?
Okay, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Nemo is the pick for this one.
I'd be very shocked if you didn't pick Nemo.
I love Finding Nemo. Those are the next in my like favorites list of Pixar movies.
Yeah,
like Toy Story is the best. Finding Nemo, second best for sure.
So good.
Like almost tied for first, but
yeah,
it's just there's something about the scenery of it, just all the
I was
color.
gonna say that. The fact that I think I watched something about like how they did those underwater scenes and like the specks of light that you see in the water.
It's intricate.
And it's just like, how did they do this? And this was 2003 again?
Yeah.
I remember my computers in 2003 being so slow, yet they were able to animate this like masterpiece.
Can you imagine how long that stuff took?
Oh my gosh.
Like, okay, we've watched Inside Pixar on Disney Plus, and they talk about even now in 2021 how long it takes to animate anything.
They said 3 to 5 seconds of a movie for a week. So when you're a year, you're doing like 1.5 to 2 minutes. And that's on like fast computers. In 2003.
Imagine back then. That's in almost 20
years ago.
Those details took.
Oh my, and they made that movie 20 years ago.
And it is so beautiful.
It is incredible.
Like honestly, I can hardly tell the difference in animation between Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, which Finding Dory is years later.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little more.
It's a little more clear,
fine, but like the disparity between the two aren't as great. Thinking about how many years had passed, it's crazy.
Exactly. So yeah,
Finding Nemo is a masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely a masterpiece. Storyline, art, animation, everything about it. Yeah, definitely my pick for this category.
All right, so after 2005, we had to 2006 to 2010. And now we decided prior to this episode that if there was a list, if there was, that 5-year span that had 5 movies or more in it, we would pick 2. We're doing
because it's just too hard. They're all so good.
Yeah. And so, when you're picking between 5, that's tough. So we're going to be picking 2 out of this list. Just kind of like a runner up. What did they used to do in American Idol when they like saved someone or whatever? They like saved an extra one that they were like, they weren't the best, but he has potential. This is what we're doing here.
I'll give you a second chance.
This is what we're doing here. So we have Cars in 2006, Ratatouille in 2007. Oh my gosh, every year we're doing a movie.
Literally.
WALL-E in 2008, Up
Every
in 2009, and Toy Story 3 in 2010. Emily, out of this amazing lineup of movies, what is your first and what is your second pick?
Okay. I am picking Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is my top favorite of the Toy Story films. Because of the ending. I mean, the story, the movie is incredible itself. Like, so much in that movie is amazing. But that last scene with Andy and the toys and Bonnie is like, you just watch your childhood in front of you, like...
Can't hang.
I mean, I don't think I will ever not cry in that scene. Just watching him hand over Woody to Bonnie.
And the fact that he thought he was only handing over the other ones and not Woody, and then just says, my cowboy or something like that. And then he almost grabs it back and like,
oh my gosh, that is the most like emotional scene. Like, it just brings me back to all of my favorite toys as a child.
Oh.
And like, I just like bawl my eyes out. Like, I can't handle that scene. It's so
And when he like talks about
sweet.
when he's coming to the grips that, oh, I'm gonna hand this over to Bonnie. He is like having this one-on-one with Woody, just saying like he's the best.
Him. He's like you can't have my cowboy doll. Like,
and then he talks about like, oh, Woody's always been there for me. He's the best friend. And then he gives it off. He's like, he's doing these like affirmations to Woody that like, even if you're in different hands,
he'll always be there for you. That's what he says.
Oh,
it's
Andy.
And you see that played out throughout the movie. Like, Woody's the only one that wants to go back to Andy when the rest of the toys are like, no, like he's grown up, he's moved on, he doesn't need us anymore, he's never gonna play with us again. And Woody's like, no, like he's our kid, like we have to go back to him.
Yeah.
And then like Andy recognizes that at the end. It's like,
yeah, that is literally one of the perfect endings to, I mean, not just Pixar, but like that could be like best ending for also just any movie. I mean, it's, and the fact that they knew their audience, they knew that like in 95 kids were watching this movie, and then they tracked it. Hey, we're gonna do Toy Story 3 when those kids who were around during Toy Story are going off to college and getting rid of their toys.
The fact that they were able to get it out
by then, we pretty much
nailed that.
Andy. And that is forever. Yeah, I mean that's the best Toy Story movie.
So good. Yeah. Like nothing can top that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Toy Story 3 is also my pick from this half decade. All right, so now we go to second pick.
Okay. Oh gosh, I don't think I even thought of this. We might
line up here.
Yeah, this one may line up. I'm kind of stuck between two of them.
All right.
But
what are the two, and then what's your one?
I'm stuck between Up and Ratatouille.
Yeah, both good movies.
Yeah.
Both super good movies.
And I didn't even see Ratatouille all the way through until like a few years ago. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. And I've watched it a few times since and just realized like how incredible it is. And like, why did I not watch it before that?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm stuck between those. I think I'd have to say Up though.
Yeah.
We
do line up between this too.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and like,
is that the ones you were stuck between?
No, I mean, I think I was going Up no matter what, but I mean, there's some parts of the movie that I feel like later on in the film, it gets a little, there's some things in that movie that I'm like, okay, it's not as strong as the beginning, but then it ends just as strong.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, the beginning is like literally a cinematic like masterpiece that people will always remember.
5 minutes of just emotion.
All Pixar needs is 5 minutes, and then it's gonna make you cry.
Like,
amazing.
How do they do that?
I know. And then at the end, when he, is at Russell's,
the bond that forms between them throughout the whole movie, and then he's just like the father figure that Russell didn't have.
Yeah,
like,
it's perfect.
So emotional.
There's so much.
So sweet.
And it's so adventurous. And I do love all these movies in this era. I mean, Cars really grew on me too, especially after Radiator Springs opened up in California Adventure. We've watched it like multiple times because it really makes us feel like we're in the park. And then WALL-E's so amazing as well. All these movies are incredible, but I'm gonna have to go Toy Story 3 and Up. I mean, you can't really beat that Up sequence and a lot of the scenes in there. So, all right, so we matched up there, but
all right, next, this is a pretty tough one.
Yeah.
There's some pretty good ones in here. This is 2011, 2015. We have Cars 2, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Brave, 2012. Monsters U, 2013. Inside Out, 2015. And Good Dinosaur, 2015
as well, yeah.
My eyesight's really bad. I thought it was 2018.
Yeah. So mine is going to be Cars 2. No, just kidding. So this one also has 5. So we're gonna be picking 2 from here as well. Even though I would say this half decade is not as good as the one before,
or the one coming.
Oh yeah, I mean the one after this is really tough too. I'm gonna say my first pick from here. I mean, one that really stands out. I mean, literally, this movie is able to but just explain kind of the human mind and emotions and all that stuff in such a great way that I think like at a certain age, like this could be totally part of, a school curriculum. Like it's so great how to deal with emotions, how to all this stuff. Inside Out. Yeah. I think Inside Out is definitely my favorite from this era and definitely the best in my eyes.
Yeah. It's a great film. I agree with you. There's so much to it that explains childlike emotions. Like, I mean, it goes from her baby years to kid to preteen. Like, I mean, you kind of watch her emotions unfold as the person she is. It's really well done.
Totally.
I love that movie.
Totally.
I agree, but
okay.
I think I would have to say I have a different favorite.
Oh, okay.
I think I would have to probably pick Monsters U from this list.
All right. Okay.
I love that one. Just like with Toy Story 3, this one came out like while we were in college. It was
That's true. Yeah.
Very like relatable in terms of our age and stuff and everything that they were dealing with in the university. I just think it's such a fun like prequel. I mean, the first one I love too. I know I didn't pick that as a favorite, but Monsters Inc. is so good. But I love Monsters U. I maybe more than Monsters Inc. I don't know. I haven't quite figured that out.
I think
yet.
there's one thing about like, because I kind of agree. I think Monsters Inc. is a better film than Monsters U, but maybe Monsters U has better rewatchability.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fun, like
so
entertaining film where like Monsters Inc. you have to be in the mood to just have your like emotions a part of it and all that stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Because I just love watching like where they came from and like how they became friends and like all the little intricacies of their university experience. They're just so good to me. I love that one. It's so fun.
Nice. Okay.
And watching little Mike Wazowski as a baby little eyeball thing is so
baby
cute.
eyeball thing.
Whatever.
And in that scene when he's a baby, you have John Krasinski as the guy with the spikes on his head.
The one that Mike looks up to. I don't remember his name either, but he's
so cool.
Yeah, and he gives him his hat.
Oh yeah, that's the best part.
Cool.
All right, I'm excited to hear your number 2, but I'll go my number 2.
Gosh, I don't think I picked one yet.
So yeah, my number 2 is going to be. I love Monsters U so much too, but for some reason, and I know a lot of people don't. There's some people that don't really care for this movie, and I love it so much. Yeah. Brave. I love Brave so much, and yes, I think maybe some people don't like it as much because there's some scenes that I feel kind of bad saying this, but like just with the humor in some scenes, it might seem a little more DreamWorksy, I guess. And I mean, it still feels obviously like a Pixar movie, but I feel like some of the humor kind of goes a little bit more that way. If that makes sense. I mean,
it's a great movie.
But the
music.
Yeah. Well, the music, the scenery. Yeah. One thing that I love so much is that like the whole thing of her not really paying attention to her mom, or she like that she feels like she's in this box. But then as the movie goes on with her and her mom, that bond gets stronger, even though they're in like different, situations, and seeing the mom like struggle between, oh, I'm a bear with human emotions, but then she almost goes like full bear, and then Merida like being like, oh my gosh, I might lose my mom forever. She means so much more to me than I ever thought. And that whole kind of ride between and trying to get her back, and that scene at the end when she thinks that her mom is going to be a bear forever, is like one of the most emotional Pixar scenes to me. And the music that's playing in the background, and so Brave really. Oh, at the very end, yeah. Brave is absolutely incredible, and I love that movie so much. So I don't care if you're a Brave hater. I love it, and it is my second pick in this era. How about you?
I agree. It's probably not my second favorite, even though I love it.
Yeah,
I agree with you on all those factors. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I think probably
Inside Out. I was gonna say if you did make Inside Out for one of these, I'd be a little upset.
Cars
oh
too.
My gosh. Yeah, Cars too. Oh, it's the best movie.
Inside Out definitely is my second pick here, and we've already discussed that one in depth, so I don't have to explain why. It's a great one.
It is.
That's my number 2.
Okay, before we go on to the last round, these raspberries have been soaking up in this. Okay, well, oh my gosh, how do I get these things? These just look really. Gosh, dang it! Oh my gosh,
you're gonna have
kidding? It might not even be in frame, but I was trying to get these raspberries and they just fell off.
They fell off the.
These just look so good, and now
it's like,
fork. Do I stab myself while trying to get the raspberries with the toothpick? Okay, let me see. These just look so amazing, guys. Lamplight Lounge is amazing, even though we haven't been. We feel like bad Disney fans.
I think next time we go, we just have to make it happen, probably.
Rumberries.
That sounds delicious. Wow, I have to catch up to you. Ooh. Gotta get on your level.
We got some extra rum in those berries. That's
did
good.
It soak up some rum?
It did.
Ooh man, this drink is good. Let me say, I had no idea what it was gonna taste like. This is like probably one of my new favorite drinks.
Give it up. There you go.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Guys, the last melon. The last melon.
That's Ice Age.
Sorry.
That is not Pixar, definitely not Pixar. Something we always quote anyway.
Anytime we say the last, it's like it always is followed by melon.
Melon. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
It might who did I went first last time, right? So I'll do this so you go first. I'll switch it out. Okay. We have 16 to 20.
Oh, this might be the hardest one for me.
This is not only 5. This is 7. 7. That's 2 more than the most we've had.
And I have like a lot that I'm trying to pick between here. And I don't know if I've actually picked
this yet. Is a great era, quote unquote. All these movies are killer. so amazing. Where some of the ones there's like, oh, this one doesn't stick out. This one's not good. This one.
They're all good.
All of them are great. So we have Finding Dory, 2016, Cars 3, 2017, Coco, 2017 as well, Incredibles 2, 2018, Toy Story 4, 2019, Onward, 2020, Soul, 2020. All of them absolutely incredible. Okay, it's your turn.
I have to go first, huh?
You don't have to. I could go, but I still have to figure out which one.
Okay. As you were reading them, I was kind of trying to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, stuck between a few.
Okay.
But I think my number one has to be Coco.
Yep.
Coco is one that I never knew I was going to love so much. I didn't fully know like what it was about from the trailer when it came out. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like looks good. Like it's Pixar, of course it's going to be good, but I didn't know much about Dia de los Muertos at the time. And I was like,
we like had an idea, but that film really
the way
just like
they explained it and
it's awesome.
The way you watch it played out is so good, and there's just so much to this movie.
Yeah,
it's hard to even narrow down why it's my favorite. But
sorry, our baby monitor just
like dying. I thought the volume was turned down all the way. Anyways, yes. So this movie is so good for so many reasons. Top reason though being the relationship between Miguel and Coco, which is his great grandmother, is so sweet. And my grandmother had a stroke and couldn't move her entire right side and couldn't speak, and there wasn't much that she could communicate but music. Somehow the musical side of her brain was always still working. And so if there was songs that she knew that were playing, she was able to sing them. And so this movie has such a connection with me for that reason, because me and my grandma were very, very close, and she passed away a few years ago. No, last year. What am I saying?
Oh my gosh.
She passed away last year. And yeah, just this movie will always be dear to me because of that. Just the way that Coco and Miguel connect at the end when he plays Remember Me for her.
Over something that was not even allowed.
Yeah.
And that makes it so much more special, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
She was
like music was like outlawed among their family, but yet it was the one thing that brought her back to them.
Yeah. Oh, it was beautiful.
I mean, I again can never not bawl my eyes out in that scene, that last scene. It is so emotional. Just and the way that the animators animated her face in that moment when she like recognizes what he's singing and she starts singing it with him. It's like,
I'm gone. I'm done. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's the best.
It is. Yeah. So. And so I'm going to have to go Coco for mine too. I remember sitting in the theaters, and from that moment and then into Corazon. What is it? Is it La Corazon? Or Proud Corazon.
Yeah.
And then into the credits. And
I didn't stop crying the entire time.
Yeah, me and her saw it together. And literally, I mean, that must have been like 15 minutes maybe from like the song into like the end of the first song in the credits. We were just sitting and just both of us bawling our eyes out.
I don't think we spoke after it ended for like 5 minutes. I think we just sat there because we both had connections to it.
Yeah, my grandmother had dementia, and so in a way, like, you know, her just not being able to, you know, connect with her family for a while, and then just being able to connect over music, that really hit me hard and hit both of us hard. And man, I mean, for a movie that, I don't know, it just really was so deep. And Pixar movies get deep, but man, Coco really hit
like more
good
than
nerve
anything I've
with
experienced
us.
with Pixar.
Yeah, and so for that experience, and even every time I watch it, I still get that experience. Coco's gonna have to be number one for me. Man, that movie is great.
Yeah,
that is an incredible movie.
Yeah, it's definitely an emotional one.
Yeah, oh, so good. What would you say for number two?
Number two. Oh man,
I know,
so many good ones. Oh gosh. I think, gosh, so many of these could be number two. I think maybe I'll say Finding Dory, though.
Yeah.
I just decided that right now.
Yeah.
I love all of these.
I know.
I mean, Toy Story 4 was up there also. So good. Another ending that is just so freaking emotional.
Yeah.
Pixar, dude.
Pixar
gets me. But yeah, I think probably Finding Dory. It's such a good story. I love hearing Dory's backstory and how she got where she was and finding her parents again. It's just so good.
Yeah, as you were talking about Coco, I was trying to decide these two as well. I was stuck between Toy Story 4 and Finding Dory as well. I mean, Toy Story 4 is such a beautiful ending, such an incredible journey, but there's something about Finding Dory that when her parents, when she goes down and she sees all those shells and her parents come back and they're still bringing the shells out, and then they drop them and just run up and hug her.
Oh my god.
That is so emotional. And just the shock on her face that she finally found them after that long. And then when they say, "We believed in you. We knew you'd find us. We knew you'd," and it's just, dude, I'm like, dude, that is such an amazing scene. And out of the rest of these movies,
her short-term memory loss, it was like they knew that
she would somehow find them. And they never gave up on her, even though it had been
who knows
so
how
long.
long it had been. They never really explained that, but yeah.
Yeah, so that one and honorable mentions to literally all these movies. I mean, Onward made me
oh my gosh
bawl and get so emotional with the dad. Soul, absolutely incredible. I think I feel like Soul and Inside Out go hand in hand, and that is such an amazing movie, and so many parts that just like made me appreciate life even more because of that movie. So all these movies have such great parts to them, but I think I'm gonna have to go Finding Dory as well for the second one in this half decade because of that scene where she finally meets her parents.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That is so great. All right. So now is like the toughest part ever. And we didn't actually because we just literally picked them right here. So we don't
I forgot we were doing this.
Too many. We didn't have too much time to think about rankings, but I'm going to start first so Em has a little bit of time.
I have to process here.
I think I know my rankings. So we're just going to go, we're only going to go our number one picks, even though we picked two for some. We're just gonna go our number one picks, and so this is where mine starts from least favorite out of the ones I picked. Toy Story 2 is going to be my least favorite out of the ones I picked. Don't be too shocked. I mean, compared to the other ones, I'm gonna say Toy Story 2.
Okay.
So I mean, I feel like because the other ones are so great. So Toy Story 2 is going to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. 5th place. It'll be 5th place. In 4th place, it's going to be. 4th place is going to be. Oh, gosh.
Hard.
Okay, it's going to be. Inside Out. I love Inside Out so much, but I feel like. I sometimes have to be in the right mood to watch it. I have to kind of feel philosophical, right? Even though it's an absolutely amazing feat. Yeah, I mean, it really is to explain all that in a movie, in a kid's movie. Amazing. So that'll be number 4. I was stuck between that and Coco, which is going to be my third. So I'll do, so we have Toy Story 2, Inside Out, Coco, number 3. And then I'm going to have to do... I'm gonna have to do Toy Story 3 second. I know. The main reason is, even though Toy Story 3's ending is absolutely incredible, I think Finding Nemo's whole story and whole adventure surpasses Toy Story 3. But Toy Story 3 is number 2. That's great. That's I'm shaking your head if you aren't watching right now. But I think I'm going to go, Toy Story 3, number 2. And then Finding Nemo, number 1. I mean, I just think that as a whole, him losing so much and then being overprotective and then losing his son and that whole journey to find him and then get him back at the end, and then I think that as a whole really puts it up there. Okay, do you know? Oh god, this is literally, guys, every Pixar movie is absolutely fantastic. So if yours didn't get picked, just know it's just as good as every other.
Yeah, they're all incredible. Like, they're all
amazing.
So hard to choose these.
Love you, Pixar.
Okay. I'm going to do as best as I can on this. It's very tough.
Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah. I mean, I marked which were my favorites.
Okay.
So I could kind of go by that. I guess I would have to say probably least favorite would be Bug's Life, even though I love it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be least out of the 5. I think next would probably be Monsters U.
Mm-hmm.
So hard. Then probably Finding Nemo.
Well, that's 3. That's in the top 3. That's in the top 3. That's good. That's good.
It's hard.
It's really hard once you get to that.
Just went through that whole dialogue of why it's so great.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I love that one too, but I think next would probably be Coco, number 2.
Yeah.
And then Toy Story 3 to end off number 1.
Yeah. I totally feel that. I mean, that's like rough. Toy Story movies are, like you said, the best franchise within Pixar. And Toy Story 3, I think, is the best Toy Story movie, in my opinion. Yeah. So I especially because of our age, I think it lined up so perfectly with that. So I definitely agree.
It's so relatable. It just it just brings you back to childhood.
Yeah.
So much every time I watch like any of them. But Toy Story 3 the most of all, I think.
Yeah.
So that's got to be my number 1.
Oh, I love that. Hey, that's a good list.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
Tough choices to make.
So tough. Pixar, you're too good that it makes everything so tough.
Yeah. I mean, crazy. So many of these could have been favorites, but seriously, that was the best I could do, narrowing them down.
Yeah. So, well, hey, we did good. We did good. Let us know your guys' favorite Pixar movies on our Instagram or below on YouTube. We would love to hear them. I mean, it's fun coming up with a ranking, so do your own ranking below so we can see. But thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah.
Next week is our episode 10, which is absolutely insane.
I can't believe we've been doing this for 10 weeks.
I know. Hopefully we have something special for it. Well, we will have something special. We just don't know which special thing is going to happen.
Exactly what's going to be happening. But we might have something pretty exciting. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for the support, the follows, the subscribes on YouTube. Really helps a lot. So we love you guys so much. And thanks again for joining the happiest hour on earth.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.